Well, I've spent the better part of the last month and a half in-game feeling like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Case in point, this is Buhar Bashiri. You know him because he is on our team. Well, not anymore. Kinda, sorta. We got about 7 offers for him. We ended up selling him for $2.1 million, rising to $3.5 million to Eintracht Frankfurt. However, each and every team that offered him offered us him back on loan. So he is still here. He's gone, but he never left. That was our one outgoing. We did bring in 3 new players. One is, again, an old player. Everything old is new again. Lennart Niederlander is back. We brought him back in on loan from Mainz for the remainder of the year. The 20-year-old is going to bolster our midfield. Bashiri we already know about. Kian Shearer is another player that we brought in. Now, he is not going to really factor in, I don't think, at this point in the season, but he's got a ton of potential. He's 19 years old. He's local. We got him. He's here. And that's really all that I need to say about it. There was one other move that we did make, and look for the injured man. Manfred Hector was out on loan. We brought him back because he was showing some market improvement. He is now injured, however, so he will not factor into today's episode. How have we done since we last saw each other? Okay. We ended up playing Kaiserslautern in the Zweite Bundesliga. We tied them 1-1. Manuel Faust scored on a penalty just before the half. I thought we were going to be able to see it out, but Oscar Prokopchuk scored with about 4 or 5 minutes remaining in the match to tie things up. After that, we did manage to pull off a pair of 3-2 victories, and we did it because we made a tactical change. We decided to go to a 4-2-2-4. We went to a diamond, so it was a 4-4-2 essentially. We just were trying to make things work. I felt like we weren't getting forward enough. We didn't have enough possession. We just weren't positive enough in the 5-3-2. So we're trying something different. Lars Gindorf scored right away. Paul Henrich made it 2-0 before the half. Dominik Martinovic made it 3. Günther Fürth tried their best to come back. Andreas Huntoji with a pair of goals in the 79th and 92nd minutes. But we managed to hold on. Very similar situation a week later as we took on FC Cologne. Again, this time, Cologne actually took the 2-0 lead. We got one back right before the half. Lars Gindorf, the first of 2. He's finally getting on the scoreboard. That was his he scored in the last match. So these were his second and third goals of the year. Rafael Adieli, though, added one. Gindorf's second ended up being the game winner. Back-to-back victories. I was feeling fantastic. And then we took on Wolfsburg. And so Wolfsburg and RB Leipzig, who we took on in the third round of the DFB Pokal, which we will get to in just a second. Both of them played 4-2-4s. Now, I thought that the diamond was going to help because it was going to fill like that vacant midfield area. I was very, very much mistaken. And this one was every time we did something well, they came right back. So Jota started things off. Then Gouveia scored in the first minute of stoppage time in the first half. Dominik Martinovic, though, converted on the penalty just before half to make it 2-1, but then we could not contain Thiago Tomas. It was really a weird one because he got the ball in the box. He had like 2 guys right on him. He managed to create a little bit of space, turned, did a quick 180, fired it through like 4 different bodies, and it somehow found its way home. We could not come back in that one, and we had a very similar result against RB Leipzig. This time it was 2-1 against the team that was in 5th place, I believe, in the Bundesliga. Now Borussia Mönchengladbach was in 2nd when we beat them in the second round. This time, though, RB Leipzig was just all over us. I mean, look, 23 shots to 3. The fact that Carlos Sickinger was able to score a goal in this one was an absolute miracle, but we were out of the DFB Pokal in the third round. And then we saw the end of the diamond because Hansa Rostock just absolutely ran us off of the field. They were running a 4-2-3-1, and we just could not contain them at all. A pair of goals from Ryan, Don, and Nadiri basically did us in. 15 minutes in, Paul Henrich managed to get a goal back, and yeah, we'd rather not talk about this. So we went back to the 5-2-3, sort of. We actually made a little variation on it as we took on Ingolstadt on the road at Audi Sport Park, and we managed to come away with a 1-0 victory. Paul Henrich, with just a couple of minutes left in this match. It was pretty even throughout, as you can see through the match momentum and the stats here. Now, we decided to go with, so we took our, we dropped one of our midfielders back and one of our midfielders forward. So it was essentially a 5-2-1-2 or 5-2-3 with Gindorf in a more advanced position. I was hoping that maybe if we were going to go with the 5 at the back, that we would just be able to link things up a little bit better. It finally started to gel a bit in the end. We made a little tweak as we hosted Fortuna Dusseldorf, and the tweak did us well. We kind of like offset things. I'll show you in the tactic when we get into the match. Again, very even stats-wise. However, on the scoreboard, it was all us. Yannick Rochel, Dominic Martinovic finally scoring. Both of them, it had been a little while. Like, they really just haven't been converting a lot. Tim Rossman missed a penalty. It was saved by Max Schreiber. That saved us. Back-to-back clean sheets. I felt so very good. And then it was, Vey and Wiesbaden. We were at home. We took the lead. They tied it up with a minute left in the first half. But Dominic Martinovic put us back ahead like right away. And then just at the death of first half stoppage time, they tied things up at 2 and then scored again in the 90th minute. And that Mika Schur's goal was very similar to the one in the last match. In traffic, made a little space, hard turn, threw a ton of bodies, somehow hit pay dirt. So where does that leave us, you may ask? Pretty much where we were before. We're currently sitting 10th on the table, 28 points through 20 matches. It was looking a little hairy for a while. We are 12 points away from the relegation places, which is great. We are only 8 spots away, or 8 points away, from the promotion playoff, which I think is where we were last episode. So even though we've done decently in places, we've done not so decently in others. If we had beaten Wien Wiesbaden, we would have been, at the time, now Wolfsburg ended up pulling away, but at the time it would have put us within 2 points of third place. Let's look at the tactics, shall we, my friends? So here's what we've done. We basically took that concept of the 5-2-1-2 and we just kind of moved some things around. We moved one of the DMs to a central midfield spot so it wouldn't get so congested in the area, and the link-up play wouldn't have to be as long. I can't really think of a better word for it. So we got Sami Shaheen working as a Carolero to kind of fill this spot as Akhmedov is going to bang forward. Diallo's in more of a support role because now Gindorf we have offset to the other side as a shadow striker. He's still going to kind of like find those areas, but this way he's going to be not apt to run into the same space as Dominic Martinovic, assuming that that is how we are going to line up. I think so. Pascal Diallo we brought up from our kind of minor leagues, the U18 or U19 side, whichever one it is. He's actually played decently well. Doesn't really have the stars that you might want to see that look pretty. And he's played okay in the last 2 matches. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been a liability either. But he's only 17 years old, so let's get a little more seasoned hand in there in Manuel Foul. Robin Fellhauer, we almost sold. We had a deal in place where we were going to loan him out, get like $100,000 a month, and a mandatory fee of, it was basically going to work out to like 1.5 million, all told, from Hannover 96, and he rejected the offer. That bastard. Because right now he's unhappy because of our depth at goal. There's really nothing I could do about it because we have such a small player pool to pull from in this save that like I couldn't sign a better goalkeeper even if I went. Well, I could, but the one guy available the two guys available, and we've talked about them ad nauseum, neither of them would touch us with a 10-foot pole. So it's going to be Schreiber in goal. Ballas, Adieli, and Zickinger are back three. Akhmedov and File on at the wingback positions. Niederlander, Samachin at the base of the midfield. Gindorf up front in support of Martinovic and Rochel. Hopefully, we'll be okay. We did well against the teams that were behind us on the table. We did okay, but couldn't pull out victories against the teams that were ahead of us. And unfortunately, our opponent in Hamburg today is one of those teams. They're currently sitting 5th place in the league as we get set to kick off. We are on the road, and I just do not know which ELVERSBERG team is going to show up for this match. Let me turn this down. I sped things up a little bit in the last match. I was getting a little impatient. Yannick Rochel, bit of a heavy touch, lost control, so Hamburg is going to look to go the other way. I don't know how I feel about where we are right now. We have the last match of the day here. I don't know if we're going to be able to make any kind of run in the latter half of the season. I feel like if we keep playing the way we have been playing, because we have more wins than we have losses this year. We're 7-7-6 coming into this one. So I feel like we are going to have a better season this year overall than the ones we had before. Just in the midst of it, it hasn't felt that great. Akhmedov sending it edge of the box, File, top of the D, puts it on, and Muric will play it behind. We have done well in spurts. We have done awfully in spurts. And it's really a matter of which of those spurts happens as we make the run in toward the end of the season. It's still possible we can be challenging for promotion into the Bundesliga. It's possible. Is it probable the way things are going right now? Not really. And that's so disappointing. I was really hoping that by now we were going to have just that little bit more potential for success. And I know I've talked about it before. I didn't realize when we started this journey just how limited the player pool was going to be. Oh, Dominic Martinovic. Akhmedov made a wonderful play, dribbling it along that left side, holding up play just long enough for Martinovic to charge his way through the middle, and it is Hamburg 0, ELVERSBERG 1, and I'm hoping we are saving our best for the live commentary. Final third throw in. Akhmedov, edge of the box. Gindorf. Akhmedov looking back post. He's got Yannick Rochel. Settles it down, plays it in. Manuel File, and Muric getting his fingertips on it, putting that behind, but another corner opportunity for ELVERSBERG. We're currently sitting, as things stand now, in 10th place. So we have moved up just a little bit on 31 points. If we can make a run, it would be fantastic, but just we're kind of stuck with the team that we've got. We really, at this point, are hard-pressed to improve things. And I didn't show it to you, but we did get our youth intake preview, and it was god-awful, because our board will not allow us to improve our youth system. Our youth facilities, our junior coaching, every time we ask, they turn us down out of hand. We can have a conversation about it, but it's literally, we say one thing and they're like, yeah, you're just going to have to deal with it. We've improved our training facilities. We have the money. It's not an issue there. Ballas! Oh, Florian Ballas popping the header in off of the Gindorf corner over the outstretched arms of Muric. And late here in this first half, it's now Hamburg 0, ELVERSBERG 2. Oh, boy. And I think we finally unlocked. I've tinkered with the system to the point where we may have finally found somewhat of a solution to our terrible play. And if things stay the way they are right now, this will be our third clean sheet in the last 4 matches. And now that I've said it out loud, Football Manager is going to go, screw you, pal. They're going to score 2 quick-fire goals, and it's going to be a draw if you're lucky. But so far, so good. I want to look at the table, but every time I go to change it, we get a new highlight. Niederlander in control into the box. Gindorf turns. His shot blocked. Akhmedov in on Muric, and that's a kick save and a beauty. Another corner, though. We've gotten so much better at these set pieces. Sadly, the losing goal in the last match against Vejen Wiesbaden at the end was off of a corner. Not a corner, I'm sorry. It was a throw-in. And you just know how dangerous those AI throw-ins are in the final third. Like, just ridiculously so. So I don't feel bad about having an OP corner system because it's going to all offset itself. Gindorf trying the same thing the Ballast did in the first half. This time, Muric was wise to it. Let's see if we can pull up the table here. Around the grounds. League table. There we go. So we're currently in 10th, 31 points. It will pull us 5 points behind Wolfsburg. Now, Hertha Berlin tied on points with us. They do have a game in hand, as does Hansel Rostock. So things could always change. But look how tight it is. Just 5 points separating 3rd from 10th. And it's only 8 points to the top of the table. Zickinger off of the dead ball play, playing it up, but here comes Hamburg the other way. Katterbach up the wing. Stange, overtaken by foul. Nice job. Samisha Heen rubbed out. So Novakovic taking over. Come on, Martinovic, get in there. We are playing so well, and yet we are not. Now, I'm going to set things up for the sub because I want these to actually happen. But Bashiri is going to come in for him. Samisha Heen will be replaced by Paul Henrich. And Niederlander, no, we don't really have any other DMs on the bench because I did not plan this the way that I would have liked to. Akhmedov is going to come off for Mies. Akhmedov has had a great match, but he is still young and fragile. And Bennis came so close, but Schreiber doing a wonderful job trying to preserve that clean sheet. We've got just about 10 minutes remaining in this match. Triple change being made by ELVERSBERG and Novakovic to throw it in. In the 81st minute, Montero up for Hazanovic. Nice pass to Salcedo. Out wide, Katterbach almost picked up. Zickinger is able to get to the loose ball. Henrich going the other way. Henrich starting the break out wide. He's got Joshua Mies, cuts inside, but he's up for Henrich with a little bit of space. Now caught and isolated along the sideline. Henrich looking back post. Can he pick up Gindorf? No, Gindorf out. File with a shot and File with a goal. 7th of the year for Manuel File. Hamburg 0, ELVERSBERG 3, and we, my friends, are cruising to a spot just outside of the top. 10th place is just outside of the top half. If we can get a top half finish, I will feel so much better about this year and think that maybe, and I say this every year, I know that it's something that we can build upon. It's been a slow build. It's been a frustrating build, and I've got to admit there was a point today when we were getting obliterated, frankly, in the cup by RB Leipzig, where I was like, you know what? Is this even worth my time? And I think I'm hoping that it still is. And I'm feeling like I'm slightly renewed. And I feel like I'm slightly renewed every time. I was feeling the same way right before the match against Gladbach in the DFB Pokal in yesterday's episode. So I know I'm kind of like riding the wave of emotions, but we just picked up our 3rd clean sheet in 4. We held them to 4 shots on goal, just a single shot on target. ELVERSBERG with a 3-0 victory, and things are looking up. We are now 15 points clear. There's still 13 matches remaining. I had to do some quick math in my head, and I was having trouble with that. 13 matches remain. Lars Gindorf is going to be out for a week, so he won't be available for the next match. We are, we're almost done the season. We're going to come back. Do I want to do Paderborn or Karlsruhe? I feel like we're going to come back from Magdeburg. I know it's not that far away, but I feel like we haven't done Magdeburg on camera, and then we'll wrap up the season the time after that. So if you've enjoyed this, and if you think that we can actually make it, we are so darn close. We are 5 points away from a chance at promotion. I cannot believe it. There's still a bunch of teams in the way, but what do you think? Drop a comment below. Do you think we are going to make it? Do you like the 5122 That's what it says it is now. I don't know how they figured these things out. Do you like the tweaks we made to the formation? Are there other tweaks we should be making? Leave a comment below. Leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And come back next time for more 48,500 at the last match. People are coming out to see us. Thank you so very much for being here. I'll catch you next time. Until then, bye-bye.